Okay, spellings this week. We are learning to convert nouns or adjectives into verbs by using suffixes. Sounds hard, doesn't it? It's actually not. I think it's one of those things that sounds hard it's going to be. So the suffixes we're going to use are ate, eyes, and iffy. Or iffy, depends. So, let's look at these words. So I've got classify. I've got, this is an interesting one. Right, I want you to look at those words. There's four there. Classify, assassinate, materialise and intensify. Now, what was the rule? We're changing nouns or adjectives into verbs. So we're going to kind of go backwards and think if we can identify what the noun or adjective is that this word has come from. Does that make sense? Okay. So, I think that's probably the easiest one. Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think that root word was?
I'm not too sure, but could it be assassination?
Now, is assassination a noun or an adjective?
No.
No, so what? What do you think? Go.
Assassin.
Assassin. Do you know what assassin is?
I know what assassination is. It's the
What's
way,
that?
I think it's when you kill someone.
Yeah, so what's an assassin?
The person that gets killed.
No, the person who does the killing.
Oh.
So they're the person that they're often in, well, when you look at things like Marvel and X-Men and things like that, we were talking about that this morning, weren't we? And they're sometimes in films like that, aren't they? Okay, what about materialise?
Material.
Material? Intensify and classify.
Intense.
My brain went, I couldn't remember how to spell intense.
Class.
Yeah? Because classify, if you classify something, you put it into a group, like you classify creatures, don't you, into sort of invertebrates or reptiles, that kind of thing. So you put them into a class. Yeah? I suppose in a way you're classified because you're putting classes, aren't you? In a strange kind of way. I suppose you're classified as being year 5-6. So you are in a year 5-6 class. Assassinate, just talked about that one. Materialise comes from material, and intensify from intense. Okay, well, a couple more. Couldn't figure out where the eye went. Captivate. Personalise. Glorify. So that's actually ify, isn't it? Class ify. Okay, on your whiteboards, I want you to write down the root words for those three quickly. And then you can tell me. Put those three root words on your whiteboard. captivate, personalise, glorify. Okay, so what have we got for captivate?
Captain.
Captive. Okay, personalise.
Personal.
Yep. I always manage to pick the purple pen, it doesn't work very well. Personal, and what about glorify?
Glory.
Yeah. Right, so now let's think about when we add suffixes, we don't ever change the suffix, do we? We only ever change the root word. Now some of these seem to just go on the end, don't they? So materialise is just for material. But this one, intensify, that doesn't say intense on its own, does it? Glorify is not glory in there. And captivates. What's the rule, looking at those words, what have we had to change? It's a normal spelling rule before we add a suffix. Think when you add an ing or an ed or an ly, those kind of things. So let's look at intense. What does it end in? An e. Is it a magic e or a pretty e?
Pretty.
It's a pretty e, it's just there to look beautiful. So what have we done when we've gone from intense to intensify? What have we done to the e? Is it still there?
Yes.
Is it still there?
No.
We've done, what have we done?
Changed it to an I.
Yeah, well, we've just taken off the e before we add the ify. Because remember, that is a suffix on its own, okay? Any others? Captive? Same thing there?
Yeah.
You've taken off the e and you've added the ate there. And glorify?
You've taken off the Y.
I've taken off the
Y.
Y, yeah, taken off the Y, and I've got IFE on the end there. Okay, these are all, and this is where Y does a funny job sometimes, doesn't it? They're all vowels, aren't they? I know you don't think a Y is a vowel, but you know we've talked about this before, that sometimes when it's on the end of a word, because that makes an E, it's making an E sound there, isn't it? So it plays the part of a vowel. So you take it off before you add. Remember, these are vowel suffixes, aren't they? Because they start with a vowel. You wouldn't have two vowels in a row, would you? You wouldn't have an E, I, F, Y. And the same with this. You wouldn't write it. Got your Y, F. Glorify, would you? No. It looks strange, doesn't it? So when it's a vowel suffix, which means the suffix starts with a vowel, and the word ends in a vowel, you've got to apply the normal spelling rules about taking off the vowel before you add the suffix ending. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay.